Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Tamika. Thanks for joining us. After the rain showers moved out this afternoon, the cold weather moved in. We start tonight with a first check on Alabama's home team forecast. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott joins us now. Richard, just how cold is it going to get tonight?
Hey, Tamika, a good Monday night to you. Really cold stuff to talk about tonight. 42 now in Tuscaloosa. It is getting colder by the minute. In fact, 41 down in Marengo County, Linden, 36 in Hamilton, one of the cold spots. Coleman reporting 39. And we have this freeze warning in place. Marion, Winston counties point south. That does not include Perry County or Marengo County or Chilton County. The light blue shade is where that freeze warning roughly from Demopolis towards Utah and Tuscaloosa, or north of Demopolis rather, talking under that freeze warning. And this is what we expect in terms of the temperatures tonight. This is where we're going to line up. We're talking low to mid 30s south of Demopolis, around 33 to 35. And that includes places like Thomaston, Linden, should be just above freezing tonight. But Tuscaloosa to Demopolis, 31 to 33. And how about upper 20s for a place like Hamilton and Haleyville? Going to be some cold stuff to the north tonight. But how long is the cold air going to stick around? Your forecast is straight ahead.
Thanks, Richard. The winter weather is settling in, and that means many families are bringing out space heaters. Fire Lieutenant Steve Zark says they're a good way to stay warm, but people get comfortable with them and don't think about the safety issues they pose. Children often run up to them unaware of how hot they can be.
People get comfortable with space heaters and put them too close to things, like maybe next to the bed or something like that. And it's best to have a space of about 3 feet around a space heater for it to work properly, and also to help keep from things catching on fire and having any problems with them. So that's just a good idea, not to put it too close.
Now, space heaters are economical, but it's also important to follow the warnings to stay safe this winter. Well, a local group has come together to cook for a good cause. They are making and selling chili to raise funds for Sandy victims. Chili for Charity is partnering with a group based in New York City who says they will double the funds they make from the chili sales. The group was inspired by all of the help Tuscaloosa received after the April 27th tornado. They say it's time to pay it forward.
It's about paying it forward. We receive so much aid. It's always good to have a community to pull together to help another community. That's really important, and not what other way to do it.
Now you can buy chili from the group this Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Tuscaloosa Farmers Market. Well, a 9-member team from the Alabama Emergency Management Agency is helping with the Sandy recovery efforts. The state EMA director, Art Faulkner, says people from all over the country helped Alabama after the April 2011 tornadoes, and Alabama is pleased to return the favor. The group from Alabama is working with FEMA in Queens, New York. They're expected to return home right after Thanksgiving on November 27th. Well, last month, the Tuscaloosa County School Board approved changing their 4-block schedule to an 8-period day. Now, this decision has principals, teachers, and even students speaking out against the new policy. In tonight's Education Watch, WVUA's Travis Leader sat down with one Hillcrest High School sophomore who hopes she can help persuade the school board members into changing their minds.
Meet 15-year-old Abby Spencer. This Hillcrest High School sophomore is concerned about the Tuscaloosa County School Board's decision to move from the 4-block to the 8-period scheduling.
As of right now, I stay up till 12 a.m., 1 a.m. doing homework for 4 classes. So with 8 classes, I'll be even more stressed out.
County school officials are concerned about math and reading scores, and they believe keeping students in those classes year-round is a good way to help bring up scores. But Spencer says they aren't doing the math when it comes to school finance.
The only reason they're doing this is because they want to have us in math and reading all year long, but without taking into consideration that they're spending over $700,000 more with doing this.
Spencer says although students would be in a math and English class every day, it would hurt student achievement in classes with longer lessons.
45 minutes isn't enough time to learn anything in class. In chemistry, some of our labs take 90 minutes without interruptions.
Spencer also believes more students a semester will decrease the amount students learn.
Right now they have about 90 students, and then like next year we'll have over 200 students that they'll be teaching. So they're not going to want to give as many papers and such because they have so much work that they'll have to do.
In Tuscaloosa County, Travis Leader, WVUA News.
We were unable to catch up with any school board members tonight for this report. County Schools Interim Superintendent Dan Butler says 8-period scheduling will provide more flexibility and more opportunities for students. Some parents have notified WVUA they will be attending this Thursday's County School Board meeting with a petition. We will have much more on this debate later in the week. Well, tonight, 2 suspects wanted for attempted murder are now behind bars. According to Captain Lloyd Baker with Tuscaloosa Homicide, the shooting happened Saturday night around 8 o'clock at University Manor on 29th Place. 2 people were left wounded. A 14-year-old was shot in the leg, and a 20-year-old was shot in the stomach. Cornelius Bernard Sanders and Jarvis Dante Robinson turned themselves into police today. Both suspects have been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. Well, members of the community came together tonight for a benefit banquet to raise money for the Save a Life Clinic in Tuscaloosa. The clinic provides services for women who are experiencing an unplanned or unwanted pregnancy. They want women to know that abortion is not the only option they have. WVUA's Courtney Highfield has more.
Caitlin Jane, the singer at the Save a Life banquet, is an advocate for pro-life clinics. But it wasn't until a friend went through this kind of crisis that she realized how much of an issue this really is.
It's something I didn't even feel comfortable speaking about or singing about at first, but then I realized that it is an issue in our day that needs to be talked about, and women need to understand that they have support and that they do have options, and that life is precious, that their life is precious and the life of their baby.
Former Alabama coach Gene Stallings also had a message to share at the banquet. He says the issue of abortion is something that is very close to him and his family.
It hits home just a little bit in that I had a child with Down syndrome, and a lot of times when you have a child that something's wrong with it, maybe the first thing you think about is maybe an abortion. Well, I'll tell you, my life wouldn't have been nearly as rich if I hadn't had Johnny.
Jane and Stallings agreed that abortion is something that is taken far too lightly, and it's because women don't know what else to do.
Where do they go? What do they do? Where do they search out for help? Where do they get some counseling?
I just strongly believe that women need to have choices and they need to have support when they're going through a situation like a crisis pregnancy.
They also agreed that women need to be better educated on the options they have if a crisis pregnancy does occur. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Courtney Highfield, WVUA News.
You can get more information on the Save a Life Clinic at www.pregnancytestcenter.org. Well, the rain didn't stop Tuscaloosa residents from honoring past and present servicemen and women this Veterans Day, and it didn't stop Alabama Governor Robert Bentley from honoring fellow veterans in Tuscaloosa either. Governor Bentley joined with members of the Veterans Memorial Park Association this morning to honor America's veterans. The program was held at Snow Hen Park, and local and state officials, Tuscaloosa residents, and veterans came out to show support for one another. Bentley served as a doctor in the Air Force, and he says he's glad to be back in Tuscaloosa, but no matter where he is, it's always a privilege to meet veterans.
Anytime I'm around veterans, I'm always honored because of the sacrifice that they made. You know, there are 22 million veterans in the United States, and as I said, more than 450,000 live in Alabama. We're a very patriotic state. We believe that veterans are what make us free.
And today was also a special day for Navy Commander Allan Hallman of Tuscaloosa. Governor Robert Bentley's staff and the Alabama House of Representatives declared today as Allan Hallman Day in Tuscaloosa. Well, one local organization is allowing you to get some Christmas shopping done while helping out a good cause. The holiday shopping extravaganza is a benefit for Eagles Wings. The event is taking place December 1st from 10 to 2 at University Church of Christ. Many of the products featured will be provided by local vendors. Eagles Wings will use the proceeds to help build their new facility in Coker. Organizer Daphne Wright says there are also plenty of prizes for those in attendance.
We will have chance to win prizes. We'll have a Weber grill that was donated by Spiller Furniture. We'll have a $50 family gift pack that was donated by Bama Mini Golf and the Crimson Chiropractic. They've also offered to donate their $20 for every appointment booked during the show.
There will also be a bake sale for those who would like to buy some holiday dishes and desserts. Well, while classes were canceled for Tuscaloosa City and County Schools today, some Tuscaloosa students got a jump start on their futures. The Tuscaloosa Public Library held Career Conversation today, an event that allowed middle school and high school students to talk to Tuscaloosa professionals. These students were able to question the professionals and learn what goes into each career, what a typical day might bring, and how they can prepare for their future.
We have a lot of great local professionals in Tuscaloosa, and for them to get to sit down face-to-face, one-on-one with a kid in a non-intimidating setting to say, you know, I started off here, but this is where I ended up, or I said I wanted to do this since I was 5 years old, and here are the steps that I took to get there.
I've learned that you don't have to do everything at one time. You can split it up in years.
When WVUA at 10 returns, this Veterans Day, a soldier was reunited with a treasured piece of his past. And Nick Saban says he isn't looking back, and no one else should either. Gary Harris will have the story in Alabama's Home Team Sports.